Hi, my name is Les Stark, and I'm the author of the book Hempstone Heritage, a book about the history of the hemp industry in Pennsylvania, specifically Lancaster County and the surrounding region, because that's where it was the biggest and the most developed. About 16 years ago, I made what I consider to be major, important historical finds of major and important significance to what we're doing today. And I always thought that this discovery is what was going to lead to eventually to the full legalization of cannabis and hemp in Pennsylvania again, and we can restore this industry. Now, probably wondering, Les, what are you talking about? What is this major discovery? Well, right here it is. Now, I'm going to leave you in suspense for a couple seconds. I bet you never saw a person with a pair of stones like I got. That's because they're very rare. What they are is they are Hempstones, or short for hemp millstones. Now, in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, between the years of 1720 and 1870, there were over 100 water-powered mills for processing hemp fiber just in Lancaster County alone, and there were dozens more hemp mills in all the surrounding counties. It was a major industry, and that's why in 1729, when Lancaster County was formed, we had the original Hempfield Township, named for, quote, the vast quantities of hemp that were raised there. It's now divided in the East and West Hempfield Township, but it was originally one large, massive township. Now, when I first started to do this research back in March of 1997, I went to the Landis Valley Museum and talked to some people there. They told me that not much had ever been written about the historical hemp industry. They gave me a couple pointers and wished me luck and sent me out the door. And on my way out, I grabbed a pamphlet that showed a description of the millstones in their collection. And in that collection, they had 5 hempstones, which is short for the word hemp millstones. I actually coined the word hempstones. It's short for hemp millstone, but I like hempstone better. Anyway, they had 5 hemp millstones there, and I was amazed. And in that pamphlet, it said that in 1810, there were 20 hemp mills in Lancaster County, which I thought was an amazing fact to begin with. So I went to the Historical Society. I wanted to find out every detail I could about the local hemp industry. I wanted to find out, where were those 20 hemp mills? How did they work? How did they operate? Who owned them? What years were they in operation? And where was it grown? How much was grown? Who was involved in the industry? Where did it flourish? I wanted to find out everything I possibly could about that hemp industry. But when I went to the Lancaster County Historical Society, I found that almost nothing had ever been written on the local hemp industry. The most extensive thing I was able to find that had ever been written on the local industry was called an article from the Lancaster Sunday News called Hemp in the Early Hemp Mills of Lancaster County, which was printed on September 2nd, 1928, which is, I always like that date because September 2nd is when my ancestor Johann Leonard Garman came here from Germany in 1749. So anyway, after I looked at the pamphlet and saw what those hemp millstones were and read the article that showed pictures of the stones, I realized that there was a person here in Ephrata, in the borough of Ephrata, that had these hemp millstones in their yard. So I took that article and I went up there to their house, and I gave them the article and I asked them information about the stones. And the woman I talked to, Don Ripchinsky, her father collected the stones. He was the founder of the Calico Historical Society, and or the Historical Society of the Calico Valley, I should say. And one of the things it turns out that we were famous for in this area was millstones, because we have a certain type of special rock. It's a sort of a pebbly sandstone conglomerate rock that is perfectly suited. They say the best millstones that you could get were French burr stones, but if you couldn't afford French burr stones, the next best was the calico stones. So that's why David Musselman collected these stones. And he had, you know, that I could see, he had 7 of these stones in his yard. And these stones were behind a white picket fence. And the reason they were placed there was to protect his children when they were young from traffic that might, you know, crash and wreck into their yard. So for that reason, he referred to them as the guardian stones. So these stones at one time were known as the guardian hempstones of Ephrata. Now, they were fascinated to learn about this, and they were eager to give me the information that they had, and some tips on how to find out more. But they showed me, they took me to a bush, and they said, no, we don't have 7 of them, we have 8. And behind this bush was another perfect specimen of a hempstone. Well, these stones were in his collection for many years, and he decided to sell them. And my good friend Brian Burkholder bought them and pretty much gave them to me. Although technically he could take them back at any time, but he's going to let me use them for a long time, and when I get the money, I'm going to buy them so that they're officially mine. But right now, I am the keeper of the Hempstones. And I take that responsibility seriously, because there's very few of us in this earth. So one of the things I like is to actually be able to put your hand on a hempstone, to feel this history right beneath my hand. Now, at the hemp mill, the purpose of these stones was to roll over top of the fiber, soften it up, and get it ready for the spinning wheel. It was built conical shape so that it would roll evenly in a circle. That's why we have this millstone on its side, because that demonstrates more how it was used. I sort of think they look better standing up like that, but that doesn't really show you how it was used. And this is how it was. Now, there was an iron axle that was placed into the cavity of this stone. Looking in there. That iron axle was held in place with a wooden block. And at this end of the stone, there's a big iron hoop that was attached to a chain that went to the driving arm, and that was basically propelled this stone in a circle. That stone rolled over top of the fiber. It broke apart into the more firmly adhering bark that was sticking to the fiber, softened up the fiber, and made it ready for the spinning wheel. Then it was taken to the home where it was used for the best and finest homespun linen. And there was a lot of reports back from the 1700s and so forth. They say that the Pennsylvania Dutch people around here grew some of the best hemp in the world and made some of the finest hemp linen fabrics that were so fine that you had to be an expert, and even an expert couldn't tell the difference between the best hemp linen and the finest flax linen. So, one of the things my research has shown is the extent that hemp was used in linen. It was used for everything, as a matter of fact. Everything from tough, coarse cloth, to fine linen and everything in between. It was used for rugs, curtains, tablecloths, napkins, handkerchiefs, pillowcases, sheets, towels, jeans, Conestoga wagon covers, sailcloth, rope, everything. In fact, down in Philadelphia, we had a big shipbuilding industry, and every ship that sailed the seas took up to 60 tons of hemp fiber for all the big thick anchor cables, all the rope rigging, all the canvas sails. That was all made out of hemp, and all that had to be replaced every 2 years, and that ensured an enormous and insatiable demand for hemp from the interior of Pennsylvania. So, that's all these facts are great, but what I thought was so cool was to find the actual evidence of the hemp industry in Pennsylvania. So it's not just something that we talk about anymore. To be able to document these facts, and after I found the 5 hempstones at the Landis Valley Museum, and then I found the 8 hempstones up there in Ephrata that had been collected from local hemp mills. Then I found another hemp millstone at the Hans Herr House. I became aware of another hemp millstone at the Mercer Museum in Doylestown. I became aware of and went and visited and photographed 2 of our Lancaster County hemp millstones. Went down to a mill museum in Virginia called the Flower Dew 100. And I started finding hemp millstones all over the place. I used to do a vending route, and everywhere I went on that vending route, I was searching the landscape to find these stones. And I found about 25 of these hemp millstones so far. So out of 25, 2 of them are in my possession. Like I said, I am the keeper of the Hempstones. So I was able to document 100 hemp mills in Lancaster County, 100 of them. I know the exact locations where those mills were. I know who owned those mills, the years they were in operation, how they operated, and everything. Now, my book, Hempstone Heritage, has a really good diagram of these stones, and will tell you all about them. But can you imagine the craftsmanship and that went into carving these stones? Not only that, but how did they haul them around and get them into the mill? That's what boggles my mind. This stone here in particular weighs 1,580 pounds. So that's getting up to close to a ton. Now, every hempstone that I found, they had slight variations, and some of them are in really perfect condition. Others have like chipped away a little bit, slightly worn, but they're all neat, and they range in price from, depending on how you go about the sale, you could get $2,000 all the way up to, I attended a millstone sale where a hempstone went for $8,800. So there's way more to the story, but as I looked on this, I see that the video is already 11 minutes and 35 seconds long, and I just, I could go on for hours and hours about this. So, but the important thing I wanted to tell you about is, my name is Les Stark. I'm the author of Hempstone Heritage. I'm founder of Pennsylvania Hempland Security. I'm an activist, a historian, and I'm carrying out a campaign to legalize cannabis and hemp, again, in Pennsylvania, for all purposes: medical, industrial, spiritual, and the social and recreational uses of cannabis too. Now, hemp is very important to me. Hemp is what started it all off, and that's well, not really. I got into hemp, and as I got into it, then I realized the importance of it. Hemp is important for the environment. We can make biodiesel and ethanol, methanol, and jet fuel, and we can burn it with coal, in conjunction with coal, for its BTU value and producing energy. We can make particle board and pressed fiber board wood products, hempcrete to build houses, and there's just so much that we can do with it. But part of the thing that we need to do is spread this knowledge and spread this awareness and teach people what they do not know. I'm in the position where I know these things and nobody else does, because I'm the one who found it out, and I'm the one who needs to teach it. I need support. I have a fundraising page on GoFundMe, and I need you to go there, click on the link below, and do what you can. Make a donation, because funds are desperately and urgently needed as soon as possible. So whenever you watch this, whether it's today or tomorrow or 5 weeks from now, I want you to still consider making a donation, because it's very important that we get this information out to the world. And also, while I have your attention, I just wanted to tell you about the Lancaster Hemp Rally on Saturday, May 4th in downtown Lancaster by Penn Square. We're going to rally in support of full legalization of cannabis and hemp. We have a lot of good speakers. We have Richard B. MacDonald, a local defense attorney who served in Vietnam. He spoke at our last rally. He's going to be speaking again. We have Leigh Maddox, a former retired Maryland State Police captain. She's going to speak, and it's going to be a great rally, and I hope to see you there. And we have other people, Mike Wider, the